Okay, so welcome to a new episode for the video series Professional versus Retail. Right now, on the previous two video, right, I have shown you that how to identify a peg currency or a free floating currency, and also how do you classify and define a commodity currencies, right? Now, I also mentioned that as a trader, right, you should really focus on the first the free floating currency and also the commodity currencies, right? Because currency like this have the highest volatility, right, in the forex market, right? So it basically means that you will have a higher chance, right, a higher risk and a higher opportunity of making money in trading these currencies, right? So in these episodes, right, I'm going to show you how exactly you can use this, right, and how exactly, right, the pro will categorize the currency pair in a proper way. Okay, so before that, as usual, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, and as well as leave me the comment, right, leave me your feedback right in the comment sections, right, so that I can put out content, right, that is going to help you the best, right, in achieving your trading goal. Okay, now, so in the previous episodes, right, you have learned that, okay, you should first thing find out the currency regime, right, and also figure out whether it is a commodity currencies, right? So now here's how a typical excuse me, so here's how a typical, right, professional hedge funds or a professional investment bank prop desk will categorize and identify a currency pair, right? So we basically categorize it into four different category, right? So the first thing will be X commodity free floating currency, right, or non-commodity free floating currencies, right? And the second thing is the second category will be non-commodity peg currency, right? The third category will be commodity free floating currency, and the fourth will be commodity peg currency. Okay, so we are basically combining two of the main feature together, right? So we basically are able to classify the currency in the forex markets, right, into four different currencies, right? So here's how we trade. Okay, so when we refer to tradable sets, right, we are really looking at the non-commodity free floating currency and also the commodity free floating currency, right? Because these two category, right, they will have the highest volatility, right, among the markets, right? Because first, they are not packed, right, they are free floating, right, which means that the central authorities, they will not intervene it until it is absolutely necessary, right, for them to do so, right? Or we call it as a managed float, right, or is a dirty float in the industry, right? This is how we call it. So the central authorities will not intervene, right, as frequently as the peg currency regime, right? So it basically gives the currency a very huge space to move around, right? So basically giving you a much more volatility and a much more opportunity, right, in the currency. And in the commodity currency side, because the economics of that currency is really depending on a few commodities, right? So for Australia, for example, will be the gold, the oil, right? And New Zealand, for example, will be the dairy products, right? The cattle, right? All kind of dairy products, right, in the New Zealand, right? So they are really just depending on a very few commodities, right? And as you know, commodity markets is a very volatile, right? So it's a good place for traders to go in and make some money, right? And if you are doing the right thing, you can make a huge chunk of money, right, in the commodity markets, right? And so because the economics of the currency is so depending on the commodity, right? So if anything happen, right, on the commodity, right, if anything happens on the commodity, it's going to affect the currencies, right? So it's basically giving the currency a huge, not huge, but at least a higher volatility, right, compared to the commodity peg and also non-commodity peg regime. Okay, so as a trader, right, also especially as a beginners, right, when you are looking for all kinds of tradable currencies, right, you should go through focus on the non-commodity currency floating and also commodity floating. Okay, these two major categories, right, you just go in, right, and you just download all of the data, you do all of the analysis, right, and simply by doing that, right, it's going to give you a very good view on the world economy, right? Because this two category is basically covering a huge chunk of the global economy, right? The country that is categorized in these two category, right, they are contributing a huge chunk of the global huge chunk of economics, right, in the global economy, right? So just by understanding this the country in these two category is going to help you to have a good view on the world economy, right? And having a solid, proper global economical view is going to help you in generating your idea across the entire financial market, right? So it's not only just forex market, right? Having a solid view, a solid global view, right, is going to help you generate trade ideas in the stock market as well as the bond market and the commodity markets, right? So it's very important for you to get used to it, right, to understand, right, what is the current financial what is the current economic situations, right, within this country, right? And then once, if you have time, right, you can go through, right, you can go to the commodity packs and commodity packs and non-commodity packs. Okay, you can just go in to these categories and do your own research. Okay, so I have a list right, of the currencies, right, that is categorized in these four different category, right? So which will be I have a list, right, showing you what is the currency, right, is categorized under the non-commodity free floating, right, commodity free floatings, right, commodity packs and non-commodity pack, right? I have a list for that, right? So if you want if you don't want to do all of the hard work, right, I've done it for you, right? So if you want the list, right, simply comment below, right, let me know you want, and I will just put a link, right? Is a Google sheet, is a Google spreadsheet, right? So I'll just put a link in the descriptions, right, if you want it, right? So I just put a link there, or maybe put a link in the comment sections, right? So I will just put the link there. You can just go in, right, and you can just download the spreadsheet for free. Okay, so make sure to let me know if you want to gain access to the spreadsheet, right? Comment below. Okay, see you on the next video.